Hello, fellow Rebel Capitals. Hope you're well. So silver, holy cow, goes over 100, and I just saw it in aftermarket. It's up again. Shocker. It's up like 5 or 6% every single day. So the question becomes, what do you do? Buy, sell, or hold? And I'm going to reveal exactly what I'm doing at the end of this video. So let's kind of buckle up, sit down, enjoy the ride. I know a lot of you own silver, so congratulations. And let's first and foremost go over to a chart, because at the end of the day, that really tells the story. We're going to go over to Trading View, and my goodness gracious, look at this. You know, my good friend Mike Maloney was talking about a big cup and handle. Now, he zoomed out, because if you look at like a 10-year chart or 25-year chart, you see a huge cup and handle, but you see another one right here as well. And full disclosure, I did not own silver. This is one of the big moves that I missed. I definitely picked up the move in gold. I've owned that for a long time. And I picked up a big move in the GDXJ, the juniors. And but silver, I didn't pick this up because I was looking at the yield curve and industrial component, economy slowing down, labor market. Now, I just think you've got just massive speculative flows going into silver. That's kind of what explains this. I don't know if there is an argument with AI and the build out and the silver needed for, whatever the infrastructure is. But I don't know that it's going to make, it's gone up, for heaven's sakes. In the last couple months, it's up 100%. And that's not due to, fundamental reasons. That's just due to people piling in, FOMO. And that's what happens in these cycles. Gold goes first, then the miners, then silver goes to a greater degree. So I did buy silver. Finally, I bought right around in here. So what I do in Rebel Capitals Pro, just so you guys know, is this is Rebel Capitals Pro on the school platform. And I do these trade alerts. So you can see 17 days ago, I said I bought the PSLV for a speculative trade. And then I kind of go into why. And so I just wanted to disclose that up front. So I almost sold right here, but I didn't, because I'm like, it still hasn't broken down. So I'm going to hang on. And thank goodness I did, because I don't know where I bought. Let's just say 26 or something like that. Now we're up to 33. So I've had a really good profit on this short-term speculative trade. But the question is, where does it go from here? Look at it. It's like gapping up every single day almost. This is crazy. Look, and what's really interesting too is you see even the days where it's down, it throughout the intraday, it's going up. You see, that's what this green means. That's because that's where it ends the day. This is where it starts, and this is, if you guys don't know candlesticks. And then you see what it does throughout the day. But look at this last candlestick. It's closing right at the high. I don't know what this thing is. I don't know. What is this doing here? No, it's not letting me look at it. Okay, so bottom line here, because this probably thing's going to shut me out. It's closing right at the high. That's really good. But on the flip side of that, a parabolic move like this, when we're looking at it from basically the month of January, it usually, you got to have some sort of pullback, but that would likely be a buying opportunity. This isn't investing advice. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. And at the end of this video, I'll reveal what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to buy more or hold or maybe sell my position. I've had a great trade just over the last 17 days. I'm up, let's just say, $7 bucks. You're up like, I don't know what that is, 726, call it, what, 30, a little less, I guess, maybe 25% or something like that. My math isn't too good. But yeah, there's a lot to be bullish. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about Marty Zweig. And the rules, I always put those, and I always remind people of that in with our Rebel Capitals Pro members. So type in Marty Zweig. And here are the rules. And you guys can just Google it if you're not a member of Rebel Capitals Pro. And the number one rule that you see is the trend is your friend. And I tell you what, these rules have served me extremely well in 2025, like with gold and the miners. There was a time there that I was like, yeah, maybe I should sell. And the members are saying, maybe I just like, look, trend's your friend, trend's your friend. Now I ended up selling too early with the GDXJ, that's for sure. But it's all about probabilities. And I think I made maybe 60% on that. And did I get the whole move? No. But based on the chart, I think I made the correct play based on those probabilities. And look at rule number 2, let profits run, take losses quickly. And here's the one I always like too. If you buy for a reason and that reason is discontinued or is no longer valid, then sell. And I like to look at the flip side of that. So if you buy for a reason and that reason is not discontinued, then do not sell. So I think for each and every one of you, going back to this chart, assuming you own silver, why did you buy it? Like what were the reasons you bought it? Like, why did you think it was going up? Why were you bullish? Now, in my view, if you were bullish because of debt and deficits, you probably got lucky, because I don't think that has anything to do with it. In my view, this is all about gold running first because it's a risk off. There's no counterparty risk. So geopolitical, everything else that's going on in the world, everyone's gravitating towards gold because it's the ultimate safety asset. And then you just have that cycle play out because of human psychology, where the miners go next and then finally silver goes. And then you could probably combine that with little, justification with AI CapEx spend or what it's projected in 2026. And then you get some rotation, some speculative hot money coming out of crypto because of what Bitcoin's done lately. And it probably rotates right into silver. And that, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to keep going higher. So I think what I'm going to do right now is, number one, I'm going to look for my friends starting to buy silver, like the normies, like people that don't really invest and people that you talk to all the time, but you never talk to them about investing or macroeconomics or the Fed or interest rates or anything like that. If you got to dinner or go to the game with one of those guys and they're all of a sudden buying silver, that I'd pump the brakes right there. Also, I'm going to start looking for magazine covers or the equivalent of magazine covers coming out and saying silver is going to 500, or silver is going to replace the dollar, or silver's now better than gold, or something like that. And that's when I would also kind of pump the brakes. And then the third thing that I would do here, and I'm just trying to judge human psychology with that, just trying to judge human psychology, trying to predict what happens in these cycles. Then the last thing would be the chart. So, I think there's a high probability that, well, I don't know. It's just whenever you end on a high, that's always a good sign. They're kicking me off here. But looking at this, let's see if I can go out and come back in. I mean, I would probably sell if it goes below, call it 31. If it goes below 31, definitely into this range, and it closes there, I would probably sell at least a portion of my position. But if it doesn't, there's no way I'd sell. And if it continues to go up, I'm going to hold. And if it goes back down to this level, right around in here, and then starts to go back up again, so the trend is starting to, your higher highs, higher lows, then I would likely add to the position. And I'm not getting cute with options or anything like that. I mean, do you really need to when it goes up by 5 or 6% per day? Do you really need leverage? I would just play the PSLV That's what my core position is. So I would just add to that core position. Now, I did an interview with Adam Taggart the other day, my good buddy, and he pointed out a really interesting chart that I had never seen. And this was the ratio or the price move in terms of a percentage when you compare silver to the silver miners. And then when you compare gold to the gold miners. And right off the top, you got to watch the interview. It's on Thoughtful Money to see the exact charts that he has. But when he looked at, just right off the top of my head, these aren't exact numbers, just for the sake of the example, gold was up, let's say 70%. The gold miners were up like 150%, which is what you'd expect. Silver was up like 200%, but the miners, silver miners, were up 200 as well. So the silver miners really haven't gone up yet more than silver itself. So this is not investing advice, but it's definitely, if you're really a silver bug, it's something you might want to look into. You might want to look into that ratio, and maybe, just maybe, if we get, let's go back to the chart here. If we get this movement down, if you want to like turbocharge the position, instead of just going directly into silver, adding to the silver position, maybe I might add to the position by buying silver miners. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking that through, and try to play a little bit of the ratio. So long story short, I would look for psychological cues. I'd look for all my buddies, the normies, buying silver. Then I would be tempted to sell at least half my position. And I would also start looking for magazine covers or the equivalent of that. If I start to see that, like The Economist or something, then I would probably sell half the position. And then if it goes under, kind of this level right here into the 30 handle, I would probably sell half the position. If it goes under 30, I'd probably sell the whole position. And then if it bounces right here, I'd probably add. I don't know if I'd add directly with silver or the miners, just thinking out loud. And then if it just continues to go up, I'm just going to hold and just enjoy the ride. So there you go. Quick video on silver itself, what I'm doing. It'll be fascinating to see how this plays out next week. I wouldn't be surprised if it's up another $10, but we shall see. And if you guys want to check out Rebel Capitalist Pro, that's the subscription service I have that we were kind of looking at momentarily there with Chris McIntosh, Brent Johnson, Patrick Sresna, just to name a few, and get some of these insider tips and insights. Josh will go ahead and put a link in the chat and put a link in the description of this video. All right, guys, on that bombshell, enjoy your weekend. We've got a fantastic whiteboard video coming out tonight. You'll check that out on the George Gammon channel. As always, make sure you're standing for freedom, liberty, free market capitalism, and we'll see you in the next video.